Not only is it taking lives, it's deteriorating communities, devastating families, and leaving children without parents.
Manchester's Police Chief Nick Willard in Washington, D.C., testifying before Congress about the opioid crisis here in New Hampshire. NH1's chief investigative reporter Celine MacArthur takes us inside the hearing to show us how Willard and other New Hampshire leaders are campaigning for federal help.
Everyone inside the meeting, lawmakers, law enforcement, victims' families, and medical experts all know it's a problem. The goal for today was to educate the United States Senate on what the federal government can do to help local communities.
At today's hearing, the committee will learn more about this terrible epidemic, what's being done to address it, and how Congress can help.
That's why the Senate Judiciary Committee turned to New Hampshire leaders for guidance.
I have never seen anything like this.
In New Hampshire, we're losing more than a person a day.
We are dealing with the throes of human tragedies every day, but it's still a wonderful state.
Senators Kelly Ayotte and Shaheen and Manchester Police Chief Nick Willard all making it clear the statistics in New Hampshire are staggering. Willard breaks down the numbers for the Queen City. In 2013, 14 fatal overdoses, 30% heroin, and 7% a combination of heroin and fentanyl. In 2014, 19 fatal overdoses, 22% heroin, 22% heroin and fentanyl, and 21% fentanyl alone. And then in 2015, Willard reports 69 fatal overdoses, 33% fentanyl, 26% fentanyl and cocaine, and 9% fentanyl and heroin.
We're finding the vast majority of folks who are suffering from this disease won't hurt you. They'll just hurt themselves.
Governor Peter Shumlin from neighboring Vermont arguing that the epidemic stems from a decades-long evolution of how people treat pain. Most of the committee and speakers agreed.
The Food and Drug Administration, the pharma industry, the dirty docs. You know, we don't have to go to the border here to see the source of opioids.
But what we haven't really talked about is medical schools and doctors. It's my understanding that most medical schools don't have any courses on prescribing medication, on recognizing drug abuse.
New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont are the top 3 states in prescription of the top 5 pain medications. And those same per capita, and those same 3 states are in the top 5 in heroin abuse. I don't know what methodology they use, but it's certainly not common sense.
Once addicted, Willard argues that the steady supply of drugs like heroin and fentanyl from outside the U.S. are hampering police efforts.
So the addiction pool, I agree, it needs to shrink because we need to lessen the demand. But the supply, most urgently, needs to be reduced with greater interdiction efforts. I'll say it, our border is a sieve.
Willard's hoping the federal government will fund law enforcement initiatives like Operation Granite Hammer to finally get a grip on the crisis. Aren't a lot of people sitting in those chairs? A lot of people here, you guys here, a strong force from New Hampshire. Do you still think it's going to make a difference?
All I can do is hope so. I mean, the more we talk about it, the quicker we'll have change. We just need people to get behind what that change is going to be.
So what's next? Senator Ayotte says she hopes the committee votes out the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act so it can go to the Senate floor and hopefully become national legislation that can help families and communities in New Hampshire and around the country. We'll have more on her plan and Senator Shaheen's work on our website, NH1.com. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Celine MacArthur, NH1 News.